All right, it's a Worship Wednesday, but let's start here, the NFL, and let's do this. Do we have Rob G? What's the news of the day on
Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence, franchise quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who famously got decapitated on Sunday
Yes.
by a Houston Texans defender, has been placed on injured reserve. He'll be out at least 4 games, and by all indications, given the way the Jag season has gone, he will not be out. He will not be returning the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, 4 games ago doesn't make sense. Now, Rob G, where are they in the sweepstakes? Because they're 2-10, correct?
They currently have the worst record in the NFL, which means they also have the best chances of securing the number 1 overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. This would be the second time since they've drafted Lawrence that the Jags would be picking number 1. Famously, in 2022, they took Trayvon Walker out of Georgia over Aiden Hutchinson, which guys like Kevin Washington are very excited about.
Yep.
Detroit Lions.
Thank you.
Over Sauce Gardner, over a bunch of all-pro level guys, so they're not really good at drafting players. But here's the question, guys. Trevor Lawrence obviously just got paid this past offseason.
Big time.
Big money. But given what you've seen from him on the field, the inconsistency, given that this is now the second time since they've drafted him that they're picking number 1, has Trevor Lawrence shown you enough as the Jacksonville Jaguars front office to pass on a quarterback yet again in this upcoming draft?
Abso-freaking-lutely yes. And there's a couple of things going on here, Kelvin.
Tell me.
First of all, you've already made that financial commitment. Number 2, Jacksonville has more holes than a golf course. Okay, they got plenty of holes that need to be filled.
They do.
Thanks, Alex. So going to get another quarterback that either you're not going to play next year or whatever as you bring him along because you already got Trevor Lawrence there with the big money and it's only going to cost you money to get out of that, you got to go trade down, get some picks, and then try to plug up some of the glaring holes that this team has. I just, to get a quarterback, to me, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, makes no sense. And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence doesn't have some blame, right, or is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback or whatever. But we have seen some positives and some stuff that's the reason why they signed him to a deal. And you remember they're still living off of that playoff comeback. You remember against the Chargers?
Yep.
What were they down? 27-0 at the half? What was the score? Like something like that.
It was something like that. And by the way, yeah, he contributed to them being down.
No, he had a bad first half, but he had a terrific second half. And they had one of the biggest comeback wins ever in the postseason.
So you're telling me he's Matt Flynn?
So no.
Throws 6 touchdowns against the lowly Lions and then get a bunch of money from the Seahawks?
No, because I thought Urban Meyer stumped his growth his first year. Urban Meyer was he was too busy doing lap dances.
Yeah, the 30 for 30 on him is going to be – I mean, I know he's been in a couple of them, but, I mean, the ones focused strictly on him will be interesting.
So I'm not there.
Yeah,
I'm not, and I don't know the quarterback – who's the overwhelming quarterback that's going to change your franchise?
So
I can't name them.
Yeah, this year it isn't like Andrew Luck's coming out, so I understand that. There are a couple of good ones. You know, Cameron Ward out of Miami is expected to be one of the first to go. If not, Shedeur Sanders is going to be one of the first top 5, 6, 7 players to go as well as a quarterback. So you have those options, and for me, everything you just mentioned is why I'm looking to move on. Because I've given him, if I'm the organization, we've done this experiment now. This is the 4th year of this experiment. He hasn't wowed me per se. He hasn't been great, and there are other folks out there available. So to me, I'm going to do a Justin Fields situation, call up and get a bunch of draft picks and say, hey, team, who needs a quarterback? Give me a bunch of draft picks so I can maybe draft.
What are you talking about? When Justin Fields, you talking about when he was drafted? When
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They only got one pick for him.
Well, to get who am I missing then? To get a bunch of picks to get the first round, the first pick. Bryce Young. That's who it was.
That's what you're thinking about, right?
Bryce Young.
What'd you call up when they got rid of him from the Bears? He got like a 4th round pick.
Give me the picks. Hopefully, the way it works out, depending on what you give me, like if I make you give me a first, a 4th, and a future, whatever, I can get a quarterback. And then, as you mentioned, I can start to fill some holes because they're not overly wowing you with talent down there in Jacksonville. But to me, I've seen enough that I'm okay moving on, and I'll be off of that money. So hopefully I could get a quarterback that's good if I were to get a Shedeur Sanders, if I were to get a Cameron Ward. And I got a good quarterback who I'm on a rookie deal with, so I can start to fill these holes with guys I may have to pay money. May have to pay money to a tackle, may have to pay money to a linebacker, may have to pay money to a top cornerback. And I got this hopefully good rookie quarterback because I've seen enough. He hasn't been that spectacular. 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions this year. You look at his first 2 years, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Last year, if you want to go where he played way more games, 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. He's not been that great. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but I'm okay venturing off now and say, hey, we did it, 4 years. Thank you for your time. Move on. I'm going to get a new young quarterback on a rookie deal who I believe may be comparable to you, if not maybe even better, and then
or it could be worse.
Yeah, I'm willing to take that risk. I've seen this experiment.
Well, here's the problem. Rob G's going to explain it to you.
Well, there's two avenues you can go down in this hypothetical situation. Both of them would involve a post-June 1 situation because for whatever reason, the way the NFL calendar works, if you do it in February, it's worth more than it is in June. If they were to just cut him, which they would never do, of course.
No, that would never happen.
The dead cap number would be over $200 million across 4 years.
That's
which
not
is
even
just not going to happen.
That's NFL suicide.
So if you were to trade him, though, and again, people still think Trevor Lawrence got that strong jaw. He's 6'5", he's got beautiful hair.
Remember we saw him at the
he's a specimen
at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like you look at him and go, man, like.
But I feel like we were doing that since even college, and
Exactly.
it's like not. Yeah, but how much more am I going to be just sitting there like, ooh?
So if you were to trade him post-June 1 for next season, he would only count $30 million towards your cap, which will be spread out over 4 years in dead cap.
All right.
Yeah, he got to go.
So 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Where are you?
My phone's ringing. Hello?
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence.
Yeah, no, he's for sale.
Yeah, all right.
He's for sale.
Trevor Lawrence, are you moving on? Are you going to hold on to him and finally get some picks and fill the holes there in Jacksonville? There's a lot of work to do. It's nice to get a shiny new toy as a quarterback, but if you don't have the other stuff, you have Bryce Young all over again.
Bro, who looks good, by the way.
Well,
Bryce been balling.
The season's over now.
Bryce been balling.
When it mattered, they couldn't do anything. Like you got to always be careful because once the season's over, things all of a sudden.
What you mean the season? It's like 2-3 weeks. He's been playing really well. Let Bryce Young cook.
Yeah,
let that man cook.
He ain't cooking. That's an instant TV
Hold on, man.
dinner.
If you don't hurry him, let the phone call. I'm getting a phone call right now. Yeah, Trevor, He comes with the hair, too. Yeah, the Thor hair.
877-99 on Fox. Let's start with Dion in Texas. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dion?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
Loving the show. Hey, guys, I'm doing well. And
appreciate you, Dion.
Loving the show. Listen to the podcast during the Thanksgiving week. That did call in, but I heard everything. Great show, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays. You guys loving that music you were playing as well. But back to Trevor Lawrence. Hey, guys, I'm with Kelvin. He got to go. It's time for a change of scenery. I think if he moves somewhere else, he might play better. But to be honest with you, that entire quarterback class has been a bust, and he's leading that bust community. So the thing is, Jacksonville's kind of silly. They gave him this big bag, and they gave a bag to Tua and Jordan Love, and that's why Dak got his money. So he's part of the reason why Dak got his big payday. But I think a change of scenery, he'll be okay. He's salvageable, so he's still got potential.
Yeah,
so
but my only thing is that they got other holes that they need to fill as well.
Absolutely.
So that's the problem. You go get a quarterback and then you can't protect him. You know what I mean?
That's true. You're right. But we saw the potential that when they went and they came back on the Chargers and they went to Kansas City, gave them a pretty good fight. What happened from that team? So it's like he's regressed from that.
Yeah,
so.
that was true because I thought they would take the next step next year after coming off that playoff run, and it never materialized. They got off to a bad start, and it never got there. Dion, thanks for the call.
Appreciate you, guys.
How about Drew? Drew in New Jersey.
What's up, Drew?
What exit? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
I mean, I'm sticking with him unless someone is foolish enough to give me 2 number ones for him, which I don't think is going to happen.
Ain't nobody that foolish.
Well, I was just saying. Anybody.
We didn't say John Elway.
Hey, that's right, Drew. I would make that trade. Are you kidding?
I mean, if I can get him, cool. But I don't I'm looking at this draft. I'm not I know it's a hot thing to put Shedeur Sanders, but I don't even think he's the best quarterback. I would go with Jalen Milroe, or I'd go with Cam Ward.
You don't mean that.
And let me say this, but Drew, you know what?
What is Shedeur elite at?
But Drew, here's the point, though. The idea that there's not a clear-cut number one tells you why you wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what would scare me.
But remember, we're saying trade him. The meaning I might go trade him for, someone else already in the league, and then go fill up the other holes. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be drafting a quarterback. It just means I need to move on, start to accumulate pieces. And again, whether you draft a quarterback, trade, maybe you feel Justin Fields could be your guy or someone else. But it's just time to move on, and it doesn't mean he has to be a terrible quarterback now, Trevor. He might go and be nice somewhere, but if for us, sometimes it's good part, like a relationship. You go be great, I'll go be great.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. What about Warren in Australia? He's down under. What's up, man? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you?
I don't know. Is it nighttime there?
It's 20 past 8 in the morning.
Oh, man.
Wow.
We appreciate you listening.
Yes, thank you,
Wipe
Warren.
the crust out your eye.
That is Trevor Lawrence. Jags end up with number 1, and so the Raiders have number 2. What would the Raiders give up to have 1 and 2 to get Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter?
There's a good point.
And then you want to go to full trifecta and have Deion come too?
But that would be it. But the Raiders, right? That's the point. Is like, hey, you could have number 1, and maybe the Raiders are dumb enough to give you a lot more, and then you still have the number 2 pick, and then you could do something else with it with the extra pick.
And then Antonio Pierce is going to be sitting with us because they're going to get Coach Prime.
Dre in Michigan, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's happening?
What up, though, fellas? Y'all good?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. Me personally, I think a win-win situation. I try to trade him to the Jets because it'd be a win for him because he already come in with 2 good receivers. Just missing the quarterback. We see how bad Aaron Rodgers is playing, and then the Jags can get maybe a first and a second or something like that. You know what I'm saying, or even another player or something. But I think that'd be a good situation for him.
Look at you. You know what you are, Dre? You acting like a marriage counselor. You over here finding win-wins for both parties involved. Look at you. We need more Dre's out here. I can see that because they got a nice receiving core over there. He can go and thrive and be in a big city, big market, and then they can rebuild because they need to rebuild. It's just not working. And it doesn't mean, again, that Trevor Lawrence is trash or he's horrible. It's just it's not working out. I need something else, somebody else. Maybe there's somebody else.
Hey, Kelvin.
Yo.
Hey, Kelvin.